Hello and welcome. I am so sorry for the delay in coming live to you. There's something going on with Facebook Live from my computer. I keep going live, I do the whole thing, and then it tells me that it didn't work and it didn't save it. So I'm going to give this a go on my phone now and see how we go. See if we actually do end up going live. So let's start from the top, and I'll repeat for the third time this morning the training for day one of the 5-day Go Direct with Your Guides experience. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love some hearts and thumbs up. It's been such a drama getting on live this morning. It is a half an hour in and I'm only just now getting started. I've done it twice already. It didn't save it, so I'm doing it again. And of course I'm doing it on my phone this time to see if that works better, which it is because I can see that you're there. Thank you so much for joining me. So this Facebook Live experience that we're having, it is all about activating your connection and releasing the wounds keeping you from having clear communication with your guides, with your higher self, with your greatest self, as I like to call it, with whatever you like to call it. For me, it is going direct with God, going direct with your non-physical aspects. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to have a conversation about who you really are, And then tomorrow we're going to release one of the inner personalities that you have that is holding you back from receiving clear communication and, of course, connecting with those parts of you that are connected to the all that is. Wednesday, we're going to activate those aspects within you a bit greater than they currently are, so that you are having clear communication. It's really important that you get clear communication. So you're asking questions, you're receiving answers in a very clear and practical way. And Thursday, I'm going to teach you the most effective meditation that I've ever done in order to increase that connection to my non-physical, to source energy, and in order to receive clear guidance. And then on the last day, on Friday, we're going to activate your connection to your guidance system and communicate with your guides, whoever those guides show up as. Of course, it can be just the universe, it can be God, it can be all that is, as it is for me, it can be your angels, it can be whatever it is for you. And if you have a specific guide working with you, then it's about connecting with that. So let me know that you're here. Say hello. Again, my apologies that we appear to be starting late. Of course, we're starting exactly at the right time. I've done this 2 times now this morning because it didn't work on Facebook through my computer. So I've said all of this twice. I'm saying it now for the 3rd time. Thank you for joining me. Let me know that you're here with me. I'd love some hearts and some thumbs up. If you're watching on the replay, be sure and post your questions. Ask any questions that you've got. Let me know what you would like help with. Let me know what you're looking forward to learning. Let me know what you think your unhelpful inner personality is. And we will work on all of that and make sure that you are getting exactly what you need. Good morning, Kelly. Lovely to see you. Hello, Gay. And of course, if you're watching on the replay, give me lots of hearts. Give me a heart and thumbs up to let me know that you are watching on the replay as well. So we're in day one, and today we're going to be talking about who you really are. Who you really are. So in order to do that, I want to share a very quick story with you about my very first connection with all that is. It was about 13 or 14 years ago. I'd been in a few years before that, I had been in a unhappy marriage. I had been in a job that I didn't like doing. I just wasn't in a good place, and I was just surviving in life. And someone said to me, you can choose to be happy. And I said, bullshit, that's not true. But for some reason, I decided that I was going to test that theory. I was going to see if it was actually true that you could choose to be happy. So I started reading books about happiness, and every single one of them said to me, meditate. This is the start of the 5 days, Mariko. So this is day one. every single one of the books that I read about being happy told me to meditate. So I sat down and prepared and decided that that's what I was going to do. So within a couple of days of me doing that, I started hearing a voice in my head every time I started to meditate. I heard a voice. We are all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be. And I thought, oh, that's weird. Don't tell me I'm having a mental thing going on. I'm having some mental health issues. But I kept doing it, and I kept persevering, and I was aware that there were people who channeled and things like that. So I wasn't too scared. I was scared, but I wasn't too scared. So every single time I sat and meditated, I heard this same voice. We are all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be. And that was my first connection with all that is. I didn't know how to communicate with them, but they taught me how to communicate. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So the very first thing that you have to know is who you really are, because you're not who you currently think you are. The very next thing, or the first thing that all that is taught me, was that well, then they changed what they were saying. They started to say, we are all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be, and so are you. And that was the first lesson in me learning that I was not this small damaged creature that I thought I was, who was having such a hard life. At the time, living at my mother's home with a 1-year-old child, just about to get divorced. So I wasn't in a good place, and I really did believe that I was damaged, and that that's what life was for me. That's what life was going to be. Struggle and hardship and poverty, essentially. I don't come from poverty, but that's where I was going. And it's certainly where I did go for a little while. So, hi Angela, lovely to see you. So, we are all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be, and so are you. What does that mean? Well, that means that you are a physical manifestation of Source, or a physical manifestation of all that is, or as I like to express it now, a physical manifestation of God. You are a physical manifestation of the universe. You are a physical manifestation of the Akashic records. You are a physical manifestation of all that is. And so what that then means is that you have the power. You have all of the power to create your life, your reality, the way that you want it to be. And the problem is that we have been conditioned. So this is why we don't know this. This is why we think we're less than we really are. We've been conditioned through the life we've been living, through the experiences that we've been having, through the society that we live in, through the education that we've received, through all of those things, we have been conditioned to believe that we are less than. And one of the other things that we've been doing because of this conditioning and because of who we are as human beings who believe they're less than, we've experienced trauma throughout our life. We've experienced trauma throughout our life, and every single time you experience a trauma, and it doesn't matter if it's a little trauma or a big trauma, every single time you've experienced a trauma in your life, you've felt hurt, and from that feeling of hurt, you have made a decision about yourself. Unfortunately, it was a bad decision. So let's say, for instance, that you have a moment of trauma, something happens to you, and it's not a nice thing to have happen. And in that moment, you make a decision about yourself, and it's usually an unhelpful decision, a negative decision. Krishna, lovely to see you. Thanks for the hearts. Love the hearts. Keep them coming. Just want to share 2 examples of that with you. First of all, one of my clients, now this is to explain to you that the size of the trauma doesn't matter. It can be something that many people consider small, and that it's had a big impact on your life. Or it might be something that's huge, people think should be a huge trauma, but for you it just turned out to be a simple, small, traumatic moment. It's all relative, and it's all your own decision about these sorts of things, even though you don't make the decision. So as 2 examples, one very quick one. When I first started working with clients, healing them of these traumas, one of my clients, I could see in my third eye, because I'm a bit psychic like that when she was about 9 months old, she was crying in her cot, screaming out for her mother. She was also aware that her mother was outside the door. And so she was feeling like shit, crying, upset, all of these things as a 9-month-old baby, knowing her mother was out the door, and also knowing that her mother wasn't coming to help her. Her mother wasn't coming to love her in the way that she had come to expect that. And so what she did was she made a decision, even as a 9-month-old, she made a decision that her mother mustn't love her, that she mustn't be lovable. I'm not lovable. If I were lovable, Mum would be coming to me. I'm not enough. If I were enough, Mum would be coming to me. I'm not loved. If she were, her mother would be coming to her. So she created this, what I call an inner personality, that is the inner personality of being unlovable or being not enough. Now, I can't remember what decision she made. So this is what I'm saying, to some people that's a teeny tiny little experience that would not have had any effect on them. But for her, it was actually ruining her whole life. She spent her whole life looking for people to love her. And every single one of them proved to her, just like her mother did, that she was unlovable. So she was just continually bringing this energy into herself and creating what I call an inner personality. It's an energetic personality. And so tomorrow what we're actually going to do is release one of those inner personalities. We all have hundreds of them because we have hundreds of moments of trauma in our life. And again, trauma is whatever trauma is to you. I want to explain that to you because for myself, I had an experience of sexual abuse when I was 8 years old. And for many, many years, even after starting this work, hi Cheryl, thanks for coming. Many, many years after starting this work, I continued to dismiss that moment of trauma because in my eyes, it was just something little. I wasn't raped. I wasn't continually sexually abused. It was just a very quick, 2-second moment. And so I continued to dismiss that trauma, thinking, other people have such bigger trauma, not understanding, of course, that what I'm saying to you now, that is trauma is trauma. It is whatever it is to you. It's either big or it's small, but that's your own personal experience of it, and you cannot compare it to someone else's trauma, and you absolutely cannot dismiss it thinking that, oh yeah, but that was just little compared to other people. So that's why I want to be really, really clear about this. Your trauma is your trauma. It's got nothing to do with anyone else's. And if it, one thing might hurt you and not hurt your best friend. One thing might hurt, one family experience might hurt you and create an inner personality in you, and yet your sister, who is traveling the same family life as you, had no traumatic experience around it at all. So makes sense, right? I want to be very clear about that. Your moment of trauma is whatever it is to you. So what we do is we create these inner personalities. We have this moment of trauma. We make a bad decision about ourselves. It's usually a negative thing. I am this, or I'm not enough, or I am unlovable, or any of those sorts of things. And then we spend our entire life seeking people who will prove that to us, which is why every experience that we have is a repeat of a past experience. Not every, because we start to learn this and we start to heal it. But until we do, we seek out people. If I have a trauma, a traumatized inner personality that believes itself to not be enough, which I did have, then I'm going to attract people to me who will treat me as though I'm not enough, because it's that inner personality seeking validation. And so what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to release that inner personality, whatever it is for you. So I want you to tell me what that inner personality is for you, if you've got it. What is this wounding that you have? For most of it, it's around I'm not enough, or I'm not lovable. Whatever it is for you, I want you to pick one of those traumatic inner personalities And tomorrow we're going to do a process that will completely release that inner personality from you. Afterwards, I'll teach you a way to keep it away, and I'll teach you how to deal with these traumas in the moment so that you're not making those bad decisions about yourself. You're not going and attacking yourself with a bad decision. Or if you do, how to clean it up straight away. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about who you really are. You are a physical manifestation of source energy, a physical manifestation of God. Therefore, you have the power to create your reality. You have the power to create your reality. You've been doing it since day dot, right? But some of it has been based around the trauma that you've had, not who you really are. So, yeah, Angela, I'm not enough is so prevalent in so many of us. And I've got some amazing tools around that one as well. But tomorrow I'm actually going to do a multidimensional healing process that will release it from you. It's my own unique work. You won't find it anywhere else. So I'd love to have you come along. And so, yeah, basically, thanks for joining me today. Thank you so much for joining me today. Watch the replay if you are just now joining us, because we're about to finish up. Ask any questions in the comments. Unfortunately, because I've done this 3 times. This is the 3rd time that I'm doing this. I've done it twice on Facebook through the computer, but it hasn't saved the replay. It's actually, and it's not shown up for anyone to join me or any of that. So those 2 were just practice, obviously. This one was far better, by the way, so you're lucky to get this one. So that's why we're running late now, and I do have an appointment coming up, so I'm going to ask you to ask any questions in the comments. Let me know what you want to know. Let me know what you want to know about our next couple of days. I'll just... So today is the truth about who we are. Tomorrow we're going to release that wound, as I mentioned, or that negative personality. Then on day 3, we're going to activate your guidance aspects. And then on day 4, I'm going to teach you the most effective meditation that I've ever done that helps me to open up, to start hearing and communicating with all that is, and receive clear, practical advice and things to do. And then on Friday, I'm going to activate your connection to your guidance system, and we're going to get you communicating with your own guides. So I'm really looking forward to it, and thank you so much for joining me. We will go live tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'm just going to go live on the phone in future because I don't know what's going on with the computer. It's just not working. So please join me tomorrow, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and we'll get on with this 5 days. Oh, it's a Mercury retrograde shadow period. Interesting. And I'm a Virgo, and, you know, Mercury retrograde and I kind of mesh. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Leave any questions. Give any comments, all of that sort of stuff. And please, if you know someone who might enjoy learning what I'm sharing, and also who might enjoy helping, having some multidimensional energy clearings and activations through this week, then please invite them. You can send this to them via Messenger if you want to do it personally, or you can certainly share it out for me. And let's come together tomorrow, ready to step into our greatness. Thank you for joining me.